You know, at the moment we're in lockdown because of the whole coronavirus and everything. Well, Clancy came to me last week with this wonderful idea of being able to film a little video baking diary, like a video diary of all the stuff I bake. So here is the first video that I'm making. We are going to be making my granddad's favourite, which is rock cakes. Because at the moment, obviously, he hasn't been able to go out and do the stuff that he wants to do. Here is a list of all the ingredients that I used. Here is a list of the method I used. First of all, I'm going to go and preheat my oven to 180 degrees and prepare the baking tin that I'm going to put the rock cakes on. Now, to prepare the tin, I'm going to put a bit of baking paper on it to make sure it doesn't stick, and to make that stick to the tray I am going to put a bit of butter on it, which greases it so then it can all stick down. I've also now got my apron. The first step of this recipe is to put 225 grams of self-raising flour into a bowl, which I have already done, and you add to that sugar and baking powder. If you couldn't tell, this is my first attempt at making these, so I'm hoping they turn out okay. Now about to add in the 75 grams of caster sugar. Now you can use golden or white caster sugar. I use golden caster sugar for this. Now then, into this, the next thing you add is 1 heaped teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. In the recipe that I've got down here, it says that you need to rub 125 grams of unsalted butter into that mixture, which at the moment, here is what the mixture should look like after, before you add in the butter. Now about to rub in the 125 grams of butter into the flour, sugar and baking powder mixture so it resembles breadcrumbs. In the recipe it says it should resemble breadcrumbs. It does. As your mixture should look like when you rub in the butter. Step is to, in a clean bowl, beat the egg and the milk together with the vanilla, and you add 1 tablespoon of milk, 1 egg, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I've also put blue gloves on because at this time in quarantine it's best, whilst you're baking or cooking or whatever in the kitchen, it's best to put blue gloves on, because then it stops like all germs going into the baking stuff. Like if you're baking for other people, like for my granddad, like for me, because I'm baking for my granddad, I have to wear blue gloves so then it's not transferred onto him, because he's vulnerable to the whole virus because he's out. Adding in 2 teaspoons of vanilla into the 1 tablespoon of milk. That you add in 1 egg. and then you beat that all together. You've added all of your wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. That's your eggs, your milk, and your vanilla. And you mixed it all together with all the dry ingredients. It should look like that. At this stage, you can add in your 150 grams of dried. Here is what the mixture should look like before it goes into the oven. So that's once you've added your 150 grams of fruit and mix it all together. Roll your mixture into golf-size in between balls. And don't forget to spread them out on your baking sheet as well, because they will spread whilst they're in the oven. Now, these unfortunately aren't vegan, but in the next few weeks there will be something that is vegan for those who are vegan and decide to call other people veganists. I'm able to get 6 onto a tray because they will spread out whilst they're in the oven, but it's also best not to do big size little balls of dough, because they will spread whilst they are in the oven, and because it'll also make sure that they can cook all at the same time, or that they cook all at the same time. I've decided to do the brownie recipe in a few weeks, so don't worry, that will be coming up. But I'm not entirely sure if everybody will want that now, because I don't want them to spread. I am greasing another baking tray as we speak, so then I can have more room for them to bake, but also then they won't spread. Warning, veganist rank coming up. Veganist is a made-up word, but it's Clancy language. It's for when you don't necessarily do much vegan baking and you keep bringing in stuff that is not completely vegan, and she gets a bit annoyed because she thinks I don't like include her or anything. Well, I do. There's a lot of people in the youth club that can confirm I do include her. Like by making vegan shortbread, I made vegan millionaire shortbread, I made normal vegan shortbread. I've also made vegan Biscoff cookie dough sandwiches, which will be another little video that I'm hoping to do. Hopefully, Clancy will say this one's any good. I bet she won't know because it's not vegan, but you never know. She might have changed. Veganist rant now over. On to the rest of the video. Here is what they look like before they go into the oven. At 180. I have just got them out of the oven just now, and I put them on a cooling rack so they can completely cool, and then you can transfer them to the tin after you've done it. I hope you enjoy it. What do you think, Graham? Good? Oh, no, it doesn't matter, no. Very nice, they're alright, Here is my response. So I'm about to now, on camera, so you can see exactly what they're like. They're really good. They're very, very good. I've already given them to my granddad because we saw him briefly to just go and have a bit of lunch with him, and he said they were really good as well. Hopefully you can attempt to make these with your families as well. If you do, please send Clancy photos to really, really annoy her. Sorry again, Clancy, for all of that, but hopefully you won't take it personally.